Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today on this beautiful Saturday morning. It's a slight breeze out, but a very, very beautiful day. Not as much humidity. Brian, I know you're happy about that.
Quite happy. A little breezy here, as she said, but a beautiful Saturday here. We've got 11 big races, big night here at Gulfstream Park as well with some Halloween festivities. So hope to see you out here, and Rainbow Six starting to get going too.
Yeah, it is. We had a couple singles yesterday, but now, today, $50,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee with 11 races. That begins in race number 6, and we've got a good one today. But before the Rainbow Six begins, we've got the early pick 5, and as always, Brian, you've got the ticket.
Yep, we'll take a look at it. Good card today. I don't think there's a lot of spots where you can, to me, at least personally, get too heavy anywhere. I went 5 deep in the opener. We'll get to it. There's a single, my best bet of the day. Hey, our buddy Paco Lopez is back, and he is riding Flip My Id, my best bet of the day in race number 2. Race number 3, the top pick is the 8 and a little bit of a spread. Ensign Skip. Super Spin, we're going to show a replay in race number 4. Let's try to get Super Spin loose there in the 4th, and in race number 5, another single. Lazarone, I think, will be a very, very one of the few horses I think you can probably lean on today as Lazarone on a strong debut, 8-5 on the line, and with a couple scratches, probably going to be shorter than that. And that might be the one particular spot if you're on a budget or if you need to single. That would be a pretty good one.
The first race here, it's 11 horse field, 5.5 furlongs. It's a maiden $35,000 claiming level. These are for 2-year-old fillies, and kind of seeing this a little bit similarly, but the 9, Party Shaker, coming out of a race that I think a lot of people were surprised at the winner for Antonio Sano, that Di Regresso.
Yeah, for sure. But, this was a route on debut in a maiden special weight. Very difficult to do when you're going 2 turns on debut. Jose D'Angelo going to cut this one back. The drop here is big. They bet this horse a little bit on debut as well. Edwin Gonzalez is aboard and is going to ride again. And I kind of feel like this is just maybe the spot they might have had in mind all along.
Maybe. I just don't think that she's fast enough.
It's possible. You maybe get run off your feet a little bit. This is I went 5 deep, and you'd probably want to spread a little bit too. I don't really trust anyone in here, and maybe she could run them down.
Yeah, the 10 Red Hot Spark, it's very, very early in the betting, but you can imagine this horse will be played quite a bit because Eddie Pliza, he does a very good job with second-time starters. We've got a stat on his barn as well, and you found this one, so I'll let you go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big stat, but this just kind of narrows it to what we're doing today. Second-time starters in a Pia Sprint here at Gulfstream. He's 3 for 8. Eddie's about 19-20% on debut, but all told, he's over 30% with second-time starters, and this is a good angle as well. I think the significant thing here is not only, Paco gets aboard, but we also get off the rail, and this horse broke last from the rail, and now we're in a perfect outside attack spot. Post, if you're not familiar with Paco's work, an aggressive early rider and a strong finishing rider as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is a filly that if you're not spreading, I wouldn't suggest taking a big stand on her, but I think that she's one, like you said, you could maybe lean on a little bit. Now, the 8, Daddy's Pigeon, another dropper here. I'm not sure about this race, though, Brian, coming back on the dot. I kind of felt like had to win last week, and maybe it just kind of in my eyes, this is a significant class drop, first time on the Tapeta, but how good is she?
Well, here's the thing, though, with on the dot, she caught that good DJ Stable horse, right?
That's true.
For Joe Orsino that just ran off. The name escapes me. You mentioned it yesterday. I think that horse is okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to hold it too much against on the dot. It's the drop here, and we're going to try Tapeta as well. Jose Garofalo's quietly going pretty good, too.
Yeah, he is. It's a very competitive and full field to kick off the early pick 5. Race 2 starts the early pick 4. I've got the ticket for that, and I'm kind of seeing this like you, Brian. It's a skinnier ticket for me. We'll get to this race in just a second. The 9 is my top pick, and I'm just going to single Storm Brave because I didn't really feel like it was a race where I wanted to go that deep, and I like this post position as well. Race 4, it's main optional claimers at 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. I'm right back with Street Charity. I'm going to try her one more time because I don't trust the rest of the field. And in race 5, the 2 Lazarone I've got on top. I also have Nico's Having Fun. That's my long shot.
Okay.
Pardon me. I have Nico's Having Fun on top, and I've got Lazarone in there as well. So we'll see. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot there. We'll get to it in just a moment. But this second race, this is a very, very, very speedy race. Very speedy race.
It is. I'm hoping my top pick and my best bet of the day is the speed of the speed.
Looks like it, so go ahead with Flip My Id.
Well, I think the 5 furlongs is significant here because 5.5 the waters could get a little deep, a little dicey. But we've got Paco. Kelly Breen reaches for one of his guys. You know, the Jersey connections here, at least in the summer. This horse has a local 5 furlong Tapeta win, going 44 and change.
Yeah,
And listen,
it's
Paco's going to
fast.
put her on the lead. Okay, how far does she last? How much pace pressure? That's the significant thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a deep breath and hope she lasts all the way to the hoop.
Yeah, you have to, because I think that the 5 Talk Much will have a lot to say
Yeah.
about the pace in this race. She's very quick, and she's to the outside. The 7 Runaway Breeze, I'm taking a stab with her because I think she's the only one that is a proven closer.
Well, she's going to be close enough, but not out the back, and I think that's good. You know, the barn's struggling. Let's just be
true.
honest a little bit, and we see some prolific trainers. So are we going to maintain the form? Does this horse come back a little bit? I thought this horse ran so huge last
Yeah.
time. Regardless of who's training this horse, I would have said, you know what, she might regress a little bit today because they laid it down last time.
Yeah.
And she ran hard.
And I like what you're doing here, because that race, the Hey Hey Paula race, there are a couple of them coming out of this spot here. So I think it's significant to kind of go a little bit outside of that
Yeah.
spot, because otherwise you're just using 4 or 5 of them.
That's another thing too. Hey, Paul's going to run 2 turns tomorrow. That was
I thought
odd
that
to
was
me.
very interesting as well.
Oh, we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's a very, very quick race. We won't have to. We'll be holding our breath for your top pick. Flip My Id. Race number 3. It's a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta track. It's a claiming $8,000 non-winners of 2. Lifetime, and the first half of the card is very clean. We get into the scratches the next race here. The 8 on top for you, Ensign Skip.
Ensign Skip. Thought he ran well last time.
Yeah.
Drying winners, right? They kind of asked him, he stepped way up. He was a big price for Laura Cesaris off a pretty, I'll call it a modest maiden claiming win, 2 back. I thought he acquitted himself very, very nicely. We've got it behind him now, and I think he can move forward. Edgar Zayas is going to get aboard as well, and I can't trust your horse in for 8 after he's run twice for 35.
I think
don't
that's completely fair. And Barboza, this horse will be bet off the board for sure. Sometimes I feel like, though, Brian, whenever they bet these Victor Barboza trainees like that, sometimes you just have to follow the money.
Yeah,
I
and-
tried to play against that last weekend, and it really chewed me up and spit me out.
To be fair, Victor wins a lot of races because he puts his horses in good spots. Maybe at the end of the day, Storm Brave is an 8K 2L. I don't know, but I didn't think he ran all that poorly in either of those spots last time. Couldn't he be in for 20 or so? I don't, I'm not telling you I'm reading the condition book here and seeing what's out there, but this just seems a little worrisome for me. And you're right, he's going to get bet really, really hard in here.
Yeah, and a little bit of a new shooter. Just the second time we've seen Run and Block. This horse has been around quite a bit.
Yeah. We're going to go second off a little bit of a layoff here and ran last time. Okay, I think we've seen some pretty good work from Matthew Siami. Ran second in the stakes.
Yeah.
Won a race as well, and he's not going to barn it. Has a lot of horses. There's going to run a lot of horses. I feel like they've run pretty well.
And I feel like the dubstep race was a strong race.
That's fine. Yeah, I agree.
It was a big dropper there. It's a very competitive field of 9 of them in race number 3. Race 4, it's made an optional claimer, 6.5 furlongs on the fast main track. I've scratched the 5 out of this spot here. It leaves a field of 6. And a couple of these knocked heads last time. Let's show the replay. It's Super Spin, Unified's Princess, and British Empress here.
So there's 3 of them, and you just watch this race, and it should be very, very obvious to everybody who ran the best race. And Super Spin ran it, and ran it a month better than the two horses that are well behind her, and that's Ununified's Princess is going to get up for third, and British Empress is going to get up for fourth. But this was a huge. I mean, Miss Bia, couldn't even see this out here. So
No.
this is a big, big effort in a race that completely fell apart. The winner is in fourth. The third place finisher was in seventh, and here's Super Spin as the only horse
That stuck around.
For Joe Orsino, not a guy that's going to win at a high percentage with first-time starters. To me, at least of these three horses, you can't put anyone else ahead of her out of those three.
I agree completely. She did run the best race in that spot, and I think her hand will be forced a bit more drawing the rail.
Yeah, but who's running with her?
Well,
That's the other thing.
That was what I was going to add to it, is there's not a lot of speed in here. You're completely fading Street Charity, and I get it. This is a barn. Pletcher's barn is not fired hot right now, and there looked like there were some live ones last weekend. I'm just going to take one more shot with her because I think that she's better than we saw on debut.
Okay. Think she maybe should be beaten 16th lengths today?
Maybe.
Not 20.
We'll see. They didn't drop her right away.
Yeah.
And Edgar Zayas gets aboard.
That's fine. I mean, she can run better, I guess. I mean, I feel like these Army mules they're kind of like a poor man's City of Light, in that they pay a lot for him and they don't really do any running.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, he's well supported. I get that, and these are, ace connections. We're going to talk about Forte in the lightning round, and here's Vinny Viola's St. Elias stable. This horse is bad on debut, let's just be honest.
Yeah, she's. I think that she's better than Atalanta Alexandra.
Well, that's a bold statement.
Well, I think just in class-wise,
okay.
attrition-wise, but Atalanta Alexandra has had a lot of chances, and she can't get it done.
I'm not going to fight you on that. I've liked her. I've used her.
Yeah.
And my partner said it perfectly. And ever since the debut, she also hasn't been close. I know she's been second to a few runoff winners, and they were good horses or good performances at least. But you're right. And she's 7-5 on the line and looks spot on to me.
Yeah.
You don't have to trust her.
No, you do not at all. And I think you could get a good price on the one Super Spin as well. Race number 5. It is a maiden $12,500 level. 7 furlongs on the main track. These are 3-year-olds and upward. We've got Lazaro here. Let's show the replay, and I'll let you talk about this guy.
It's a big effort. Victor Barboza, about 7-8% on debut. Excuse me, you're going to see him. He's a 2-horse, okay, and he's just not really going to break at all. And this is kind of sort of the old "there off you lose" angle. You can't be there. Again, we're talking about 12-5 claimers here too. I think that's very significant.
Yep.
But here he is here, the 2-horse, and he's going to lay it down in the lane. And you can probably talk about this as a horsewoman a lot more than I can. But, these kind of horses, when that happens at the start, you're typically not going to see this in deep stretch, that they're going to keep on keeping on. I thought it was a good effort.
It was, and he was almost to a walk after he was pinched out
point.
of. Yeah, I mean, that was like 2 stutter steps that were a bit of a walk jog. So, like you said, these guys, they're not stick shift. You can't put them into gears and take off with them. They're not push button, that's for sure. So he can improve off of this. And they gelded him before coming into the races too. And sometimes these colts, if they leave them, remain them intact, they can get a little lazy in the gate and kind of hang around there. You're in the 2 posts, you're standing there longer than most of them, and there are 10 other horses or 9 other horses in the gate. You kind of get a bit lazy in it. I expect him, Amicio Jaramillo, he's got his number now, I think, today, and will be.
Yeah, and he was 5-2 in that race too. So it's not like he was 25-1. They liked him that day, and I would expect to show with an alert beginning. Amicio takes the old "I'm on the best horse" kind of approach in here.
This is my long shot.
Okay.
It's Nico's having fun. I get it. This horse is 0 for 8, and he hasn't really done much to write home about. He gets Hector Diaz aboard now for Kathleen O'Connell, and I just have seen when this jockey steps aboard her horses, he's improving them a couple of lengths, and that's always good to see. And maybe, just maybe, the race will set up a little bit for this horse. I think this is a good outside post for maybe to him kind of pick up things late.
Yeah, you know, before last race, he had it going pretty good, and that was a good race for the level last time. The winner ran off. The runner-up comes back to win. He's hardly out of his element here. And the other thing, too, is you've got one horse to worry about, and that's a horse that blew the break on debut. This is not a bad spot if you like somebody to take a shot.
Yes, definitely. That is the early pick 5, early pick 4 sequence. When we come back, we'll take a short break. Rainbow 6 time, $50,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee.
And they're off.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide
What a sport! What a horse!
to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage, and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Samantha Perry and Brian Nato with you on this lovely Saturday afternoon. We've got a lot of hustle and bustle going on around us with the Halloween festivities tonight, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But $50,000 in this Rainbow 6 gross jackpot guarantee, and Brian's going to try to take it down today.
Yeah, I did not think this was an easy sequence, so good luck to everybody getting involved. This might be one where we get to race 11, and there could be some singles out there. Race number 7, the top pick is the 8. Great Venezuela. That probably will be a strong single. One of the few spots. Lady J, 88, 8-1 is 888 is my long shot in race number 8. In race number 9, we'll go to the 4, C Pearl. Victor Barboza Jr. could have a big day here. Race 10, the 7, Demo Wonder for Rohan on the comeback, but I don't necessarily think she has to win either. And then in race number 11, the 7, Pleasant Embrace. We talked about Kathleen O'Connell. Barnes ticking up a little bit, and she could have herself a decent little day here, adding to her legendary total for that matter.
Yes, most definitely. And speaking of legendary total in this 6th race here, jockey Edgar Perez approaching a milestone.
Yeah, he's got 999 right now, at a couple yesterday, so he's on the precipice of a real career accomplishment. We like Edgar since he's been down here. He's done a very, very good job, so it'll be coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, exciting. And this is a solid race to kick off the Rainbow 6 here. It's 5.5 on the Tapeta track, $35,000 to the $25,000 level, non-winners of 2 lifetime 3-year-olds and up. And the number 4, Jam Session. This is my best bet. I'm glad you're on this horse too.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be. That's not surprising.
No, I mean we're charter first members of the Sandino Hernandez fan club. I'm going to show you a stat. I've been promising you that this is a strong barn off the claim. You look at your racing form and you say, Brian, what the heck are you talking about? Well, here it is. Okay, this is the last 5 years, so he doesn't do this a lot, but he's 4 for 16 off the claim. I know your form is looking at 0 for 8, and I get it, but he can do this. And now we've seen it the last, I'll call it 2 weeks, I guess. Rohan doing the same thing, claiming horses at Del Mar, bringing them back here to Hollandale Beach, and they own a decisive Class Edge.
They do.
Right.
And this is a bit of a freshening up too after the claim, and I kind of like this.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't me neither, because he gets the horse from Mike McCarthy, which, oh, by the way, look at who this horse faced on debut, Speedboat Beach, who could
He's
easily
going to win the Breeders' Cup sprint,
yeah,
right?
he can win the sprint there for trainer Bob Baffert. You just look at the horses he was running against, and I understand now he's in for the $35,000 level, but he gave him some time in his program, in his barn, and I like that.
He doubled them up, too. 16 to 35 for
Yep.
Michael McCarthy. So I think this horse is ready to roll. And I
Yep.
think the other significant thing is Vamos Viejo is favored in this spot, and I get it because he is the horse to beat. He's outside of him, and I love that.
Yeah, it is a good play, and
Yep.
the Vamos Viejo kind of burns a lot of money.
Sure does.
Oh, we've got the
Yeah,
super, right?
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, began in Greenpoint. This horse, this is the level. This is his level. He stubbed his
Yeah.
toe the last two, but to be honest, he won for $25,000. I mean, everything else was just extra, I think.
They've done a good job
Yeah.
with this horse. Extendo, I think, was 2 or 3 to 5 in that race.
Yeah.
He's very good. He was a dropper that day. Those are good groups for 50. He's not out of the realm of possibility here either.
No, he's not. And then the 3, Cantaro. Second time facing winners. Paco Lopez.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a very good race. I really do like Jam Session, and I'm glad you're on him too. Race number 7. It kicks off the late pick 5. I've got the ticket here, and this is a really good race to kick things off, and I'm just going straight with a single. We'll rip the Band-Aid off early. Race 8, the 9 is who I have on top. That is Omo 10 Girl on the jockey switch. Race 9. The 5 on top for me, Lady Azteca, and we do have a jockey change. Sammy Camacho Jr. will be riding race 10. My late double, it's 4x1. I had trouble in the 10th race. I could have gone with much more. Rosie Holiday is who I have on top. And in the finale, I just went with Pleasant Embrace. I'm glad you're on the horse, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I
You
used one
some-
more. But
Yeah, you used a couple, or one more at least. But
Yeah.
race 7, this is a really nice race for 2-year-old fillies. We're getting into the time of year now where they're coming back, facing winners. 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. We scratched the 4 and the 5 out of here. Let's look at the replay of the 8 because this was a fast
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, I didn't like this horse in here. I was against her. I thought she was a little dressed up off of her game second on debut. And not only was I wrong, but man alive, she was really good. 81 buyer, if that's your ilk, and fast on the sheets as well. And look at her level off here. And, I guess just maybe Great Venezuela is pretty good. Right?
It seems like it. And I know I mentioned this to you the other day when we were looking at the replays. October 7th was when she ran that race.
Right.
I thought maybe it was a little back in a couple of
Yeah.
weeks. But one thing about her, it's not like she was being hard-pressed to finish out
Right.
that. She did that on her own towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
Lionel didn't even uncock a stick or anything on her. There's not a lot of spots to run these horses.
No, it's a golf clap to the racing office. They got this race to fill.
Yeah.
You break your maiden as a 2-year-old, you got to run in a stakes race.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a good spot for her now, and she is every bit of 7 to 5, 2 scratches. She's gonna be odds on in here. One of the stronger favorites of the
Yeah,
day.
and one of our fastest Tapeta horses we have on the grounds is Hope in Him.
Yeah.
And she was a few ticks off of his
Yeah.
last win
Yeah, that's
at this
fast.
distance. That's really, really fast. If she stubs her toe a little bit, where do you go? You've got the one Heaven in mind. Have to work out a trip from the rail.
Here's the only thing I like about this horse. She's got 2 wins. Okay,
Yeah.
these are all one first. She's already got 2 wins, and I do think that's important. But she's still looking up at a horse that could be okay.
Yeah, if it's not the 8, I feel like it could be somebody that is just
Yeah, a
going to
little tough.
blow this thing out of the water. Race 8, this is 5 furlongs on the Tapeta track. They're state-bred fillies, allowance optional claimers. Scratch the 3 from this spot. It leaves a field of 9. It starts the late pick 4. Brian will tweet it.
Yep.
I'm sure it's just a run back here. And let's get into this race. You've got the 8 on top. Lady J, this is your long shot.
Yeah, and Victor popped with my long shot yesterday as well, and you had the horse on top too. So
Yeah, that's right.
Lady J on the cutback, facing a group with a world of speed out of a, if I may, a super key race. The top 3 finishers all came back to win, including her stablemate Battle Cry, who would be a month and a half better
Yeah.
than this group. I think she's live in here today.
I loved her last time, and I think if she was going 2 turns, I would be humming a different tune.
Yeah.
But because it's just 1 turn, I wonder.
It could be sharp for her.
Yeah, that was exactly my thoughts with her. But I don't think that she's out of the realm of possibility. The two, My Lady James, is coming off of a huge win from the Carlos David barn.
Yeah, I mean, the barn is going white hot. This
Yeah.
is a horse that could be, you've got her in second, I've got her in second. I'm kind of following your old angle here. We're going to be able to double up on the Tapeta off that monster win? Maybe not.
It's hard to see. It's a very
Yeah.
competitive field to kick off the late pick 4. Race number 9, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta track here. It's a claiming $50,000 to the $40,000 level. 4 fillies 3 years old, or fillies and mares 4 and up. And we have a rider change, 2 rider changes. The 5 will be ridden by Sammy Camacho Jr., and the 6 will be ridden by Jose Alonso. And the 4 on top for you, Sea Pearl. This is another very speedy Tapeta race.
Victor Barboza Jr. again
Yeah.
here, too. She's won 2 in a row on the Tapeta. She's done it the right way. She's done it on the engine. There is speed to her inside. That's fine. She's perfectly drawn in here. I don't necessarily view her as a need the lead type. I kind of view her as a horse that was able to get the lead and do her thing. And now Face the Music is arguably faster than her anyway, so that doesn't bother me. We're right outside, onward and upward. Hat trick for Sea Pearl. Hat trick.
That would be impressive.
3 in a row.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm aware what that one means. That's hard to do on the Tapeta, just in general. The 5 for me, you've got lower down on your picks, but again, I was looking for somebody who can close.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to go quick.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. This is a horse that has run well in the past, has closed in the past. The 5 could be super, super sharp, but Lady Azteca will run on late, and, she's going to be a square price in here, too.
Yeah, she will. And, I think that it's interesting as far as the Brady horse, Dave Brady horse, the 7, 1 of 1. This horse is always there, but I think it just always gets overlooked. Face of Music just keeps blasting her.
Absolutely, and now she's 1 for 13 with 5 seconds, and when you employ that kind of running style, especially since she's gotten back to the Tapeta, she doesn't have any early speed, and that's just a problem. Simple as that.
Yeah, we might be seeing her 2 turns later on down the road. Race number 10. It is a 6 furlong sprint on the main track here. This is an allowance optional claiming 4 fillies and mares 3 and up. We scratched the 5 Raw Honey and the 10 Dignified from this spot here, and the 7 Dim a Wonder, Rohan Crichton, for you.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be a very short number in here. Rohan looks like he freshened her up. He backed off with her, didn't take her to Del Mar, didn't take her, didn't run her at Del Mar, and left her here and probably just wanted a freshening for her. And listen, if she runs her race, she's going to win. She's a better horse than what's in here. I did pick her on top, but she's a very short number in here, and this is a type of spot where, like, the crafty rainbow players, the same as Great Venezuela, these are the type of spots where if you're potentially think there's a vulnerable favorite in here, you spread, you try to catch that price. That's how you sweep this thing on days like this.
The 6 Rosie Holiday, this horse is 2 for 3 at this track. She's a very consistent mare. They've kind of thrown her in every single type of distance and surface. This is sharp for her. She's coming out of a 1 1/8 race, but she wanted no part of at all at Monmouth. But I like the fact that Paco Lopez gets aboard because a mare like her with not a lot of early speed, Brian, he can kind of put a little more speed into him.
That's, I think, one of Paco's strongest traits. He's got a lot of them, but he will put speed into this horse, and I don't think it will adversely affect the horse either. He's able to get that out of horses without taking them out of their game, and I think that's a credit to Paco, and I do think that makes her dangerous, because I think you're right in your initial point. This is going to be a very fast 6 furlongs.
Yes, yeah, and it'll have to fall apart on the late stages of the race in order for Rosie Holiday to have just a real setup. Now, the finale here today, it's 2-year-old fillies, maiden $35,000 level at 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta track. We scratched the 5 Fluffy, a field of 9. Pleasant Embrace, both Brian and I's top pick. Let's show the replay. I'll
Yep.
let you go for it because this is one that you kind of have to watch a little bit for.
Yeah, this is, you see it in the chart line, Tangled Star, and that's exactly what it is. Look at this, jumped right up at the start, and we drop a couple lengths back. Look at, you can see losing some key early position, but here she is on the outside, running pretty good for Kathleen O'Connell, not a debut trainer. I think it probably, what happened here, because she is going to flatten out a little bit late, I think what probably happened is she had to work hard to get to that spot. We see this literally every single day at the races. You use too much effort after a poor beginning and you end up paying the price late. I think today, if hopefully a lot like that horse we talked about earlier in the card, if we can break running today, I think Pleasant Embrace is in a spot to break through.
In her uncoupled barn mate, Katie Kate came back to win.
A good point, yeah.
And she beat her, so, I mean, not by much, but still, you could argue Katie Kate had a much better
For sure.
kind of setup. Now the 9, blinkers are on. That's a late change. Blinkers do go on the 9. This is a big class drop, and you've gotten Antonio Sano home before on these types of moves.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she's clearly the horse to beat. She's going to be a short price favorite. It's a maiden special weight jobber. He's got his guy Edgar Zayas, and you put them together. Excuse me, Gil's going to ride. Okay, excuse me. This is just a big drop. It's as simple as that. It's the biggest drop in racing, and I think now she's just in with the group. The blinkers are going to tighten her up a little bit early, too. Let's just put it this way. It's go time for I Say So. If it's not today, I don't know when it's going to be.
Pleasant Embrace, though, this is a horse for
Upside.
Yeah, but much more upside on the rest of the field. That's our 11 race card, but don't go away just yet. We've got our world-renowned lightning round. My partner would argue differently. Saturdays here at the track, we have the very fun promotion of the Racing Royalty. You bet $50 on the track, you can be entered to win a $100 voucher.
Yep, how about that? And just do it here. And I mean, these promotions are great. And if you can win a $100 voucher, that'll take you a long way. I could use a $100 voucher.
Yeah,
you could use a $50 voucher.
Yeah, I could. I would take anything. It's hard to find these vouchers. So this is good stuff here. Your best bet today?
Best bet today is early in race number 2, Flip My Id, the 3-horse. Paco, welcome back.
Paco Lopez. My best bet is Jam Session coming from Del Mar.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Long shot for me is a little bit later on the card. Oh, 888, the Lady J.
888.
There we go.
Yep, there we go.
Who's your long shot?
Nico's having fun.
Okay.
Yep, Nico's having fun in race 5, so I've got my best bet long shot little double thing going on. And today, we mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of hustle and bustle around in the paddock. If you're here and you're wondering what the heck is going on, we've got our Sleepy Hollow Halloween festivities this evening.
Kind of remember walking in here today. I couldn't park in my normal spot. Kind of almost like a Pegasus run-through almost.
There you
It's,
go.
It's going to be a fun night here. If you got the kids and all that kind of thing, candy stations for the kids, the bars and food and all that kind of stuff too. It'll be popping here tonight, 6:30 to 9:30. Stop by.
Yeah, this is a big hit, and might even see the Headless Horseman.
Oh, that's right.
It's not Brian.
Not me, that is for sure.
And we say farewell in a racing capacity to our Florida Derby champion, Forte. He's been retired.
Carolyn Florida Derby winner. Here he is looping a Kentucky Derby winner in Mage. You see him with the Micropoli Silks out there in the center of the track. Boy, kind of bittersweet. Never really kind of sort of went good for Forte after this. We know about the Derby, game second in the Belmont. I'm going to call him a flat fourth in the Travers, but he retires as a 2-year-old champion, a Breeders' Cup winner, and a Carolyn Florida Derby winner as well. It's a heck of a resume to go off the stud. I think they paid $135 for him, which they did pretty good.
Yes, they did very well with him, and excited to see in a couple years what his babies bring to the track. We'll probably see some right out behind us here, following their father's footsteps. That is our 11 race card. We hope to see you out here today. If you are, come by and say hello. We got 11 races, just a few moments away from race number 1. Pete Aiello's upstairs. He'll bring you through the scratches and the changes on the card.